Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 697. It's a bit shaky. Apologies for that, because I am driving at the moment, and the arm or the holder that I use is not the most stable one. But I wanted to record this episode as I return from shopping, because it might be, my mind might be clearer now recording it rather than waiting until the evening where I'm usually tired. So as usual, back blogging or back journaling, which means we are talking about yesterday. And yesterday, Wednesday, was again one of those days that we decided on just deploying sauna or our business in the evening, so no morning deploy. We had a decent morning time, proper breakfast, and a bit of time for ourselves. We did some cleanup and usual chores. I had a couple of meetings because there's something boiling up, and I cannot talk about the details, obviously, because there are legalities involved. But I can already review this because I mentioned that yesterday. I said I will be talking about this thing today. So I am leaving company that I worked for a decent amount of time. It's quite a chunk of my life because it's over a decade. I worked there for 10.5 years. So definitely a significant amount of time if you consider an average person living up until 70 or 80. It's 7th or 8th of the life of average person in a single company, which was already too long, I think. But to be honest, initial 5 years were probably the best. It was a early startup, but mature enough to enjoy working there. A lot of influence. I learned a lot from people there, and many of them are still in the company, albeit some of them are also leaving. Not that far from me, so some of them already left, some of them are leaving. It's just at that time of year, I guess, that people are just leaving for pastures new, especially if you had a decent time spent in a company. So it's a bit of farewell. I'm still sorting out a couple of things, the handovers, and I need to speak to certain people to make sure that I don't leave them with just a standard company notification that I left the company and they weren't aware. I want to make sure that I give a proper farewell or goodbyes. I'm not scared because many times there's a lot of uncertainty when you're leaving a company. So sometimes it might be scary, but not this time. We have that small business. I know that I have capability to work on other jobs, and so yesterday I had a couple of meetings already talking about it, speaking about potential handovers and all the stuff. So it's kind of big news. Maybe not for you per se, because some of you know me long enough that as you follow this project, and it might mean something. For those of you that are first time here, you probably couldn't care less, but it is, if you would spend 10 years anywhere, and you will be leaving. That for you probably that would be a big deal, or at least significant moment in career and life, etc. So that's something that I'm working on at the moment. So in parallel with running that business, a new business that we started, the sauna business, I am juggling different priorities. And yesterday day was very simple. There was no super highlights to the day. We spent most of the time at home. I don't recall any time out. The only thing that Julian did was he went off to Drumbar to get soccer training with the lads. It was a longer training, 1.5 hours, but he went there a bit later because he was helping Elizabeth to prep the dinner. But yeah, they are preparing for the match on Sunday, and I was already out deploying the sauna out for Rosnola. So Julian walked in and back, and they spent some time together. It turned out pretty well. It wasn't the busiest day, but considering the weather, it was a decent revenue and turnaround of people, mostly pre-books. There was only, I think, one walk-in. The rest was pre-booking. So it was a good day. Very gloomy. Started raining at the end, but I had enough time to record the podcast and write the blog post, which is always good if I return home and I have everything ready to publish or already published, so I can clear my head and get ready for sleep normally. And we went to sleep before midnight, which is always a positive thing. So that's everything for today. A bit dull, but that is what it is. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great rest of the day, afternoon or evening. Stay tuned, and see you again tomorrow.